In this third session on sparring movement, we'll be introducing the idea of shadow sparring. The term shadow sparring refers to the idea of sparring by yourself, as if you're sparring your own shadow. Now, the truest form of sparring is, of course, a fight with an actual opponent, but as martial artists, we don't always have a partner nearby. And shadow sparring, if done correctly, can be very effective in developing one's sparring skills and heightening our sparring senses. Let's begin this session with some basic shadow sparring drills. In a moment, we'll do several rounds of shadow sparring, and much like step sparring, you can feel free to bounce and move in any direction. And by the end, you'll be able to use any technique that you'd like and match it up with any motions and different movements. But in this session, we'd like to focus mainly on using roundhouse kick for a few specific types of shadow sparring drills. Let's start with the first one. When I say 시작, which means start in Korean, I'd like you to bounce and move and do a very light round of shadow sparring in which you only use roundhouse kick as an attacking technique. We'll do that for 20 seconds, and then we'll do the next drill. So hands up, knees bent, bounce a little bit, and 시작. Ho! Aya! 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 Ha! Aya! Ha! 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 Okay, bring it back to the center, and as you catch your breath, now that you know what we're doing, let's do that one more time, but go with a little bit more speed and conviction. So when you throw those roundhouse kicks, really feel like you're catching an imaginary opponent. Ready? Round two. Kicking stance with yell. Aya! Bounce in place. Ready? Begin. Aya! 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 Ha! Ha! Aya! Ha! 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 Aya! Again, bring it back and catch your breath. In this round, I'd like you to add either a basic motion or a switch motion right before you throw a basic roundhouse kick. So even though I added some motions earlier on, I was just moving, but this time the purpose of adding a motion would be to off balance or to freeze our imaginary opponent. So I want to freeze and then catch my partner right away. So whether it is a basic motion here or a switch motion, you may switch, ha, and immediately follow it up with a roundhouse kick. So let's do a light round of that, really concentrating on having a purpose for adding the motion. Freeze and immediately go ahead and catch with the roundhouse kick. Go lightly in this round. Ready? Right leg back, aya, little bounce, and begin. Ha, aya! 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 Okay, I want you to bring it back to the center and catch your breath. And in this round, I'd like you to do something similar, but instead of staying where you are motion-wise and throwing a kick, I want you to picture that an opponent is a little further away. So use any kind of forward movement. Now think back to the movements that we practiced. We either can slide, we can step, or we can skip. You can even spin closer to your opponent and then throw your roundhouse kick. So one light round of moving around, add a motion to get closer, and then catch that opponent. Once again, it could be any movement. You may skip and kick. You may spin and kick, but get closer to the opponent with some kind of movement and throw that roundhouse kick. Got it? Let's go. Right leg back, hands up, little bounce. Focus on what you're doing. Get set, begin. Ha, ha! Ha, ha! 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 Aya! 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 Ha! 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 Okay, bring it back to the center. Very, very nice job with that. I want you to do one more round, very similar to that, but instead of moving closer to your opponent now we have to think about an opponent attacking us. So use a movement to get away and then throw a counter roundhouse kick. So in whichever way you need to go, sliding or stepping, but immediately after you back away from someone's initial attack, throw a counter roundhouse kick. Ready? Put your right foot back, hands up, little bounce, begin. Ha! Moving, switching places, always ready. Ha! Aya! 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 Ha! Ha! Aya! 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 Okay, let's bring it back to the center and catch your breath for one last round of shadow sparring coming up. Hopefully by now you have a deeper appreciation for just how important endurance and stamina is for developing good sparring. You know, even for boxers or for mixed martial artists who have to do 3-minute rounds, multiple rounds, round after round, you can understand just how taxing it is on the body. So we are going to have a little taste of that in our final round of shadow sparring. I want you to do a full minute, 60 seconds of shadow sparring on your own, and this time it's going to be freestyle. So you're not just limited to roundhouse kick, you can do any kick that you'd like. But remember what it is, you don't have to kick the whole time. Remember to add in some motions and steps in there, but keep going until I say the words paro. Okay? Let's begin. Put your right foot back, kicking stance. Aya! Keep moving for entire 60 seconds. Begins now. Shi, ta, ha, ta, ha, how, ha, tao, ha, how, ha, ta, ya, ha, ho, ha, tao, how, ha, tao, tao, ha. Ha! Ha! Keep going. Ha! 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 Ta! Ayach! Pow! Ta! Ha! Pow! Ha! Ta! Ha! Pow! Ta-ho! Ha! Pow! Ha! Pow! Paro! You made it. You did an awesome job today with our shadow sparring. If and ever you have the opportunity in your house or at the gym and you happen to be in front of a mirror, doing these shadow sparring drills while looking at yourself can also be a lot of fun and can be beneficial as well. Practice your shadow sparring skills on your own, and I'll be excited to see you in the next one. Bye now.